Hey guys, I'm here with Jeffrey Peress, a fellow student at Old Westbury who's running for the Assembly District 13 against incumbent Chuck Levine and Republican Jeffrey Vitale. So here's Jeffrey Peress.
Hello, my name is Jeff Peress. I'm running for the 13th Assembly District. I'm a lifelong resident of the 13th Assembly District and the city of Glen Cove, which covers Glen Cove, Seacliff, parts of Woodbury, and parts of Bayville. Um, I'm currently a part-time student at SUNY Old Westbury. I'm majoring in sociology, and I received my degree at Nassau Community College in restaurant management. I'm also I'm also involved with various civic organizations. I was a past volunteer for the North Shore Sheltering Program in Glen Cove for homeless men, and I'm currently a volunteer firefighter for the Glen Cove Fire Department. I am currently also a delegate for the Nassau County Firefighters Association, and I served as a board member to my synagogue for 7 years. And I got involved in politics when I was 12 years old. I'm running because I'm not happy with what's happening in Albany. I'm not happy with the corruption and the political climate there. I'd like to do a few things. One, I'd like to change the political structure, such as ethics reforms. I'd like to eliminate fusion, no more cross endorsements, an opportunity to ballots where judges, judicial candidates could steal other political parties' lines, and everything else like that. And I also want reform. I want criminal justice reform, legalization of marijuana, complete repeal of the Rockefeller drug laws, full pardons, apologies, a Truth and Reconciliation Commission like they had in post-apartheid South Africa, and reparations for all those that were victims of the drug war that were convicted of drug felonies in New York State. Another issue I have is in New York State, if you're convicted of a felony, you're allowed to vote, but if you're still on parole serving your time, you cannot vote. I want to repeal that law. It's unjust, and convicted felons that are serving time on parole are also pay taxes. Third thing I want to do is I want to reduce your property taxes. And how am I going to reduce property taxes? And how am I going to make all the SUNY and CUNY schools free? Well, first thing is you utilize the existing stock transfer tax. That's $17 billion a year. And that gets rebated to Wall Street every single year. That's our money, not their money. Second is reinstate a progressive taxation. The top 5% of New Yorkers will pay an additional $8 to $12 billion a year in revenue. These New Yorkers, these 5% are not going to leave New York because they love their home, they love their business. Third, reinstate revenue share. And the way revenue share works, it's like working in a restaurant. When the total tips collected, a portion goes back to the wait staff. And that's how it is here. The total taxes, if you live, whatever county you live in, whatever town, like the town of Oyster Bay and the city of Glen Cove, the total taxes state taxes that were collected up in Albany, 2% would come back down. Another thing that what I want to do to reduce taxes is we're the only state in New York where New York puts the burden of Medicaid payments in all the 62 counties, where they have to pay 25% of the portion. Other states, the federal government pays 50% and states subsidize it. We need to take over those payments to relieve the undue tax burden on counties. We need to reinstate, and we need to save money by initiating a single-payer health care plan, which Richard Godfrey introduced every single year. And another thing is utilities, the economy, Green New Deal. That's like the New Deal under Roosevelt, the same thing, but with green jobs. We'll create solar, wind, hemp, and tidal power and geothermal power. It's an undue burden. Right now, we're the second highest utility payers in this country, and it's an undue burden on businesses. So this will reinstate the jobs. This will bring jobs, and it will create actually more jobs. And I also would like to bring up the issue of campaign finance reform. We need public funding, no matching funds, public funding. This eliminates private contributors. This eliminates the LLC loopholes. And if you run for office, you get a certain amount of money allocated for a certain budget for your office or staff and advertisements, etc. So I'm urging everyone to vote Green Party except for the judicial candidates. The Green Party does not cross-endorse anyone. Do not vote for any of the judicial candidates that are on the Green Party line in Nassau County. I urge you to vote for Jill Stein and Najama Baraka for president. And I urge you to vote for Robin Laverne Wilson for U.S. Senate. I urge you to vote, if you live in Rockville Center, in that area, the 9th Senate District, for Lawrence Seth Hirsch. And in the 20th Assembly District out in Long Beach, I urge you to vote for Joseph Nahum. This is real reform. Thank you for your support. If you have any questions, go on to my website, www.electperess.info. It takes $5 billion for education, and this is how we would pay for public education. Thank you.
And now for the Q&A portion of Jeffrey Peress's forum. So Jeff, as your average working class citizen running for office, what are the struggles you face as both a worker, student, and not only that, but someone who's running outside of the corporate sphere of influence?
Well, one thing is I do not accept money. The Green Party does not accept money from outside sources and private, we do not accept money from corporations. Second thing is I struggle because if I work, I have to find some time to balance to study for my exams. And third, the struggle of health care also, because my health insurance, along with every New Yorker's health insurance, goes up every year because of these greedy private for-profit insurance companies. I support a single-payer health care bill, which Richard Godfrey introduced every year in the Assembly and finally passed the last 2 years, but it failed in the state Senate. And we need something, because if you're not happy with the job you're in, I would like to relocate somewhere else. But if you're not happy, and if a lot of people are unhappy with their place of employment, they can leave and find something else, like closer to home. Or if they're unemployed, they're still covered.
Yeah.
And health care is a human right.
Definitely. I agree with you on that, for sure.
Yes.
So, another question I had, especially given the recent light of events that we've had in the past several years with the widespread exposure of police brutality, especially in minority communities, especially here in New York City and even on Long Island. Where do you stand on that?
Where do I stand? Unlike my opponents, I stand firm. And Jill Stein stands firm also. We want an independent review board that has, unlike New York City, they have a civilian review complaint board, but it's worthless if you can't subpoena, if you can't prosecute, if you can't have disciplinary actions against police officers that get away with everything. So an independent review, an independent judicial, an independent prosecutor that's not elected can subpoena these problems in this board, and we can hold the police accountable. I'm not anti-police. We're not anti-police. There are good police officers, just like there are bad police officers, but we need to hold them accountable.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for your time, man. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Thanks for coming out and making some time in your busy day.
Sure.
I really appreciate it, and best of luck to you.
Great.
And I don't forget, 2 years ago I voted for you because you were running against Chuck Levine at the time, and Chuck Levine was supporting the red light camera program, the speed light camera program, where they were tracking people's speed through certain areas and giving them tickets. And I remember I was completely against it. I was completely against Chuck Levine, and I looked up who else was running, and I saw your name. I had no idea who you were. I saw you running the green. I liked what you stood for, and that you were against that kind of stuff. And I went with you that year. So I'm glad to see you running again now.
Thank you very much.
Definitely.